to season 20. I've seen dreams come true right where you're standing. Lives change.
America fell in love with a voice. It was a moment that stopped the room cold. Jourdan Blue, a young man with a voice soaked in soul and sadness, walked onto the America's Got Talent stage and left the judges speechless. His voice didn't just echo, it lingered. Millions watching at home were moved to tears. But behind that mesmerizing performance was a young man carrying wounds far deeper than anyone realized. Raised in poverty, sleeping in shelters with his mother, Jourdan had never stood on a real stage before. And yet, in that one moment, it felt like his pain finally had a place to breathe. He became an overnight sensation, but not just for his vocals, for his courage, his honesty, his quiet strength. America crowned him the soul of the season, but no one could have guessed the heartbreak that would follow. The same stage that lifted him up would soon leave him in silence. And this was just the beginning of a painful unraveling. A story that broke hearts before the song began. What made Jourdan Blue so unforgettable wasn't just his voice. It was the story behind the song. Viewers learned that before stepping onto that glittering stage, he had been homeless, surviving on faith, community centers, and sheer will. His mother, his rock, often skipped meals to make sure he could eat. That kind of love, the kind that sacrifices everything, isn't just felt, it scars.
When Jourdan sung, you heard the tears she held back, the cold nights they faced, the dreams he dared whisper when no one else believed in him. AGT gave him a spotlight, but what America didn't see was a boy still healing, still finding his way. And sadly, when the applause faded, the world seemed to forget how fragile hope can be. A platform can lift you high, but without guidance, it can also drop you from dangerous heights. Too much, too fast, too soon. After his audition went viral, Jourdan's life changed overnight. News outlets called him a star reborn, labels came knocking, and his name trended globally. But in private, sources close to him say he was overwhelmed. He didn't know how to handle interviews. He had no manager, no PR team, just raw talent and a heart still trying to trust. The sudden fame was dazzling, but also disorienting. He began to retreat. Backstage staff noticed his energy dropping, his eyes dimming. He was performing, smiling, nodding, but something had shifted. And the sad truth is, no one really asked, "Are you okay?" He was a young man trying to navigate an industry that often chews up the vulnerable and forgets to spit them out gently. The cameras loved him, but the system failed him, and no one knew how bad it was about to get. The night he never showed up. It was supposed to be his next big moment, the AGT semifinals. Fans waited eagerly, the judges were ready, the lights were on. But Jourdan Blue didn't show. No explanation.
Just a brief statement from the network. Jourdan has stepped away for personal reasons. That was it. No follow-up, no reassurance. It was as if he vanished. Fans flooded the internet with concern. What happened? Where did he go? Some speculated a medical emergency. Others whispered about emotional burnout. But one thing became clear. Jourdan wasn't okay. And what hurt the most was how quickly the silence settled. A young man who once lit up millions of screens had suddenly gone dark. No tribute, no protection. No one seemed to know or care what he was going through behind the scenes. And that silence was deafening. The internet had theories, but no truth. As Jourdan disappeared from the public eye, social media filled the void with speculation. Rumors surfaced about arguments with show producers. Some claimed he refused to sign a contract. Others said he felt trapped, that his story was being used for ratings. One unverified audio clip suggested tension between Jourdan and the manager, shouting, frustration, the sound of a young man pushed too far. But amidst the chaos, no truth emerged, only fragments. And tragically, those fragments began to define him. The industry moved on, the audience shifted their attention. But for those who truly listened to that boy's trembling voice, the ache remained. The boy who once stood tall in front of millions was now reduced to hashtags, blurred headlines, and unanswered questions. A cry hidden in plain sight. Long before he disappeared, Jourdan had begun posting vague, cryptic messages on Instagram. "I'm tired of being seen but never known," he once wrote. Another post, "I'm not a product, I'm a person." At the time, many brushed it off as artistic expression, but looking back, they read like cries for help. Underneath the filters and song clips was a soul unraveling. He posted less frequently, stopped doing live sessions, stopped replying to fan comments. One heartbreaking post simply read, "They loved my pain, but not my healing." The comment section exploded with concern, but AGT and the media stayed silent. There was no wellness check, no public statement of support, just quiet. It's a silence that still haunts fans today. Last seen in a church basement. Nearly a year after his disappearance from the spotlight, a fan posted a blurry photo that broke hearts all over again. It showed a figure believed to be Jourdan Blue singing softly at an open mic night in a small Atlanta church basement. No spotlight, no judges, just a piano and a crowd of 20. Witnesses described him as quieter, thinner, deeply humble. "He looked like a man still carrying something heavy," one fan said. The image went viral, but Jourdan didn't respond. No confirmation, no denial. Just the echo of a voice once heard by millions, now reduced to whispers in local venues. He wasn't chasing fame anymore, just peace. And that, perhaps, is the saddest part of all. The industry that profits, then forgets. In the world of televised talent, stories like Jourdan's are celebrated until they no longer serve a narrative. These shows thrive on emotion, but rarely provide support after the cameras stop rolling. For someone like Jourdan Blue, who brought raw vulnerability to the stage, there should have been care systems in place, but there weren't. There was no mental health counselor waiting, no follow-up mentor, no safety net, just paperwork, lights, and deadlines. He gave the world everything, and when he needed something back, there was nothing. No young artist should be left alone in the shadows of their own spotlight. Jourdan's fall isn't just a personal tragedy, it's a damning reflection of a system that exploits pain without healing. Fans still remember, even if the world moved on. To this day, fans leave comments under old videos of Jourdan Blue's AGT audition. "Where are you now? We miss you. I hope you're okay." Some create tribute videos. Others write songs in his memory. His silence became louder than any standing ovation. And maybe, in a strange way, that's his legacy. A reminder that even the most talented among us can vanish if we don't protect their hearts. His voice may no longer echo across primetime television, but in living rooms, headphones, and tearful memories, it never really left. And that's the heartbreak that still lingers. The final note that never came. Jourdan Blue never got a final performance. No farewell, no encore, just a fade out. But perhaps that's what makes his story so powerful. It wasn't wrapped in a bow. It was real, raw, and unresolved. His story forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth.
Not every star survives the stage. Some burn too brightly, too fast, and then vanish, leaving behind questions, tears, and a haunting silence. If nothing else, let his journey remind us to see the humans behind the headlines, to protect the dreamers we so quickly adore. Because sometimes the most beautiful voices are also the most fragile. And the saddest part? We never got to hear his final note.